This week we went some more beautiful places, had some great sails, and had some of our scariest moments on the boat yet.
Under sail, going down to check the propeller.
I can't start the engine, and I hope I can get him back up and get back and rescue him. I'm Jen. That's Christian. We met travelling in South America, moved to Australia, and then after the pandemic hit, we realised, why put off our dreams? So we bought a boat. This is Phoenix. We've taken a year off to go on an adventure. Join us as we set sail from Sydney and head up the east coast of Australia. We took the opportunity at Hervey Bay Marina to restock our supplies and fit the new nav lights. Then we set sail for Deception Bay to stage before heading up to Double Island Point. We wanted to arrive before dark because, as the name suggests, it's a bit of a tricky bay to navigate with very shallow patches. Arriving at Deception Bay probably in about half an hour just after the sun's gone, but enjoying the last of it while it's here. That is where we're headed.
Oh yeah, it's going to be an uncomfortable night tonight. Very rolly.
And now Christian's just putting on the snubber. We managed to anchor, but the wind got up and so did the swell. So we were up and down checking we hadn't dragged onto a shallow patch pretty much all night.
So it's quite early in the morning, not sure what time. We just picked up the anchor and we're on our way to Double Island Point. We're putting more turns on the furler because we don't have enough. We don't want to break it again.
With about 16 knots, we're going about 6 knots just with our head sail up, and it feels great.
Just did a wing, which is the main sail on one side and the head sail on the other one. The reason why we did that is because we've got the wind right behind us and we get better steering. And pops you on. Good girl, Poochie. Good girl, my pooch. And that is how Bella uses the toilet when we're sailing.
We're so proud when she goes to the loo. Good girl, my shoot. Oh, you're so clever. We're rugged up and ready and sailing into the night. Gunning along here at night time, and it's a world away from the last night sail that we did because we can actually chill. We've played a couple of games of cards, we've popped up, we've trimmed the sails, and we're going like 5 knots.
Nearly there. We'll probably be arriving at midnight.
We've got to, we're going to have to figure out putting the sails down and dropping anchor somewhere outside the lagoon that we're trying to get to. But it's pretty calm, so we're feeling good about it.
Yep. Let's go and play cards.
Let me go and win.
It's 6 a.m. in the morning. We arrived to Double Island Point at 1 a.m. We set the anchor at 1 a.m. so we've only slept 5 hours and I've always wanted to come to this location because the surf is meant to be amazing and you can get one of the longest waves in Australia. So this was a dream location for me. However, the focus for this weekend is not looking great, and we noticed that the majority of the boats, at least 20 boats that were on the lagoon, have left. So we are currently in convoy with all of them to cross the bar because the conditions are great conditions to cross the Wide Bay bar to enter the inside of Fraser Island. So that's what we're doing. I'm a bit gutted, but I guess we have more time to spend in the reef, so that's a positive.
So where is it breaking?
So right now we can see it's currently breaking on the south end of the Wide Bay bar. Today is a day with gentle swell and it's still breaking. It's called the Mad Mile.
The Mad Mile?
It's called the Mad Mile because of the amount of time you really spend on that mile with breaking waves and all of that. So it's just a terrible crossing. Conditions today seem to be okay.
Oh my god, this is crazy. We were particularly nervous to cross Wide Bay Bar because just a week or so before us, a couple of guys in a Bavaria, which is the same kind of boat as Phoenix, crossed it at night. They hit the shallows, their boat sank, and they were left in the water for hours until they were rescued. They came away with their lives, but that scared the bejesus out of us.
We've been really tired because it's been like 24 hours since we left.
Almost at the anchorage.
So today we have crossed the Wide Bay Bar, which is one of the trickiest bar crossings that we've come across so far sailing up the east coast, but also the best conditions we've had in terms of crossing bars, right?
So much better than Yamba.
Yeah.
Oh god, Yamba's still in my nightmares. And this one, to be honest, we thought this was going to be really bad, but it was okay.
Too bad.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
Maybe because we were thinking it was going to be bad.
And the weather is a lot warmer up here, so we have come all the way up the Great Sandy Strait to a place called Gary's Anchorage, which is actually a really nice place up here.
Hear that whizzing noise? It sounds like a fan. Okay, put it in reverse.
Okay, it's going to reverse now.
Silence, that worked. Oh, that works so well. I'm so pleased that we've worked out how to stop that noise when we're sailing.
We're absolutely flying. We've got 20 knots of wind behind us and we're doing 7.6 knots of speed over ground. This is amazing, just with the heady up. This is crazy. We've made it to Fraser Island and the clarity of the water is amazing, but it's really gusting. So I'm going to put this drone up, see if it can keep up with the wind and see what we can get. I'd like to share with you 5 things that we didn't know about this place before we came here. The first one is it's the only place in the world where a rainforest has been known to grow from sand. Number 2 is the largest sand island in the world. Number 3 is a World Heritage listed place. Number 4, there's heaps of dingoes everywhere. And number 5, there's more than 100 lakes on that island. We're currently anchored at Moon Point, which is protecting us from the southeast winds. And the view from here is amazing. The beach is crystal clear waters and like white sand. This is a stunning place to visit. Like, this is the first time since we left New South Wales that we have a really good rundown with the weather and sailing. Like, we're finally making really good speed, and I don't know if we're getting better with the conditions, or I don't know what it, or if we're trimming the sails better. I have no idea. Today was sailing, pure sailing joy I've got right now. I'm extremely happy.
We're just about to set off and leave Fraser Island. We're heading up towards Bundaberg to the Burnett River. We'd stay here much longer if we had the time, but we think, well, I won't say the words weather window, but every time I say that something bad happens. But we've got a bit of an opportunity with the weather next week to go up to Lady Musgrave, which is where we want to go, isn't it?
Yeah, we're getting closer to the reef. So today the wind is blowing the right way to head that way. We're going to be leaving the Great Sandy Strait behind us and cross Hervey Bay, which is a place where many whales migrate from Antarctica to give birth and mate. So we're hoping to see some whales along the way. So we just had 25 knots gusting and it tipped us over. We were overpowered and we had to put the mainsail down and reef the headsail. But the issue is I had a fishing line out and I noticed it was like pointing downwards. So when I tried to pull it, I was thinking it could have been a fish, but it feels like it might have got caught around the propeller or the rudder. So we don't know what to do.
Our options are either, I think our first option is put the GoPro down, see if we can see it attached, or the lure attached to the propeller. And then we're going to have to decide whether Christian, obviously I'm not opting in here, whether Christian's going to go down while we're going, or if we're going to try and get to land and anchor without an engine and then he'll go down. So
because if it's caught around the propeller, we can't turn the engine on.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put my wetsuit on, sailing to Bundaberg under sail, going down to check the propeller. But I'm shitting myself. So I've got the wetsuit on and I'm ready to go down. I've also thrown a live ring just in case I miss it, so I can grab it. I'm attached with a leash and a rope, and hopefully it'll be a quick check and I'll come out quickly.
So he's just gone down. It's pretty scary because if something happens to him, I can't start the engine, and I hope I can get him back up and get back and rescue him. But I'm just keeping an eye to check he comes up. It's been long enough, so I'm hoping he's coming up right now. Okay. You okay?
That was definitely a fish, probably a big tuna that took my lure and then made me go down to see if it was caught around the propeller. But I'm glad it's not a propeller, it was a fish that took it. So now that I came out of the water, the wind picked up immediately to 17 knots, which Jen is very glad about.
So good to be moving. I started to feel sick swashing around there.
And we're doing 6 knots just with the heady on our way to Burnett Heads, which is the river that comes out of Bundaberg. It's time for a shower now.
We had to put on the motor for the last 3 hours just because the wind died, and we want to get there. We weren't going anywhere and the swell's quite messy, so yeah, we put on the engine. We should be getting in just after dark into an anchorage which apparently is pretty comfortable, so let's hope that's right. It's so confusing coming in at night time. You just have all these lights flashing everywhere. Well, we made it in and now it's time for some food. Didn't even get a chance to have a proper lunch today because it was so rolly. Neither of us wanted to come and cook, so we're hungry and tired. It's 5 a.m. when we woke up, and there's a scraping sound on the front of the bow. We're in Burnett River in Bundaberg, and we're in an anchorage next to some rocks one side and the channel the other side. And we've been rolling around like this all night and haven't slept, and then there's this horrible sound of the chain down the boat. We are getting the dinghy down before the sun comes up, because we can do that in the dark, and then hopefully we'll be able to move the boat with the dinghy instead of using the propeller when we see what's happening underneath.
It's a hectic morning. We've decided to book ourselves into a marina, and now we're just getting rid of our rubbish and stocking up for Musgrave. So hopefully we'll get some sleep tonight and then head off to Musgrave in the morning.
If you're enjoying following our journey, hit the subscribe button and join us next week when we check out this epic place.